In this lecture, we will be seeing about the HDLC protocol. That is, when the devices, they are being communicated over the physical devices on a network, we use this HDLC protocol. So as an introduction, HDLC is a high-level data link control. It is a standard protocol for a data link network. So whenever we are having a communication network, for example like telecommunication or computer networks, so in all these cases the communication will be happening with the help of some devices, physical devices. So we can consider to use this particular format. That is, in this particular format there will be a particular frame structure. So mainly we will be concentrating on that in this lecture, and the main features of the HDLC protocol are: it is a bit oriented protocol and it also enables full duplex communication. That is, communication will be possible to and fro. That is what you mean by full duplex communication. Then what do you mean by bit oriented protocol? Bit oriented protocol, it defines a communication protocol in which we consider the bits used for sending the information. So understand that we are going to consider here HDLC as a bit oriented protocol. So now you have to understand that there can be a byte oriented protocol as well as bit oriented protocol. So in case of byte oriented protocol, whatever control commands we are using, we give it as a total number of bytes. But in case of this bit oriented protocol, we will consider the individual bits or sequence of bits for sending the control command information codes. So HDLC is a bit oriented protocol. Now there are different types of operational modes in HDLC. Now what do you mean by mode? It is a relationship between the two devices involved in data exchange. So we can see that there are three different modes of operation: normal response mode, asynchronous response mode, and asynchronous balanced mode. We will see each of these response one by one. So first one we can see about the unbalanced configuration, or it is also called as the normal response mode. So what do you mean by this unbalanced configuration? So as you can see, suppose these are the several stations which is involved in communication. Here you can see a primary station and here you can see secondary stations. So primary station, it is going to start issue a command, and the secondary station, they are going to respond to this particular command. So it is an unbalanced link configuration. Okay, why? Because one is giving the command, other has to respond to it. The primary has to start the communication. So this is an unbalanced configuration which is called as a normal response mode. So the primary station has to initiate the transfer, and after the initiation from the primary station only, the secondary station can give back the necessary frames. So after receiving the permission only, the secondary station can initiate the transmission, and this type of mode is used most frequently in multi-point lines where the primary station is going to control the link. So in the figure also you can see the link control is in the primary station. So this, like a master, is going to give a command, and only after receiving the permission, the secondary stations they can respond to the primary station. Then another type is the normal response mode. So in this case, the primary station doesn't initiate the transfer to the secondary station. That is, a secondary station does not have to wait. So in the first case, we need to get a permission from the primary station, but in this case there is no permission required. So this will reduce the overhead on the link, as there are no frames need to be transferred for permission. Okay, so if we want to get permission, some additional frames extra has to be sent. So here we can reduce the overall cost, and this is better for point-to-point links as it reduces the overhead. So this is a normal response mode. Again, there can be asynchronous balanced mode also. That is, in this case, it is used for combined station. That is, you will be having several stations, and this station can work either as primary or as secondary. So no need of permission on part of any station in this mode. It is the most common mode used today, and they can function as peer. That is, together they can decide, okay, at a time they can act either as primary or as secondary. For example, consider this particular case. This is acting as a combined station, means it can either act like a primary or a secondary. Same for this station also. So either it will be a command or a response. That is why command or a response. So if you are having such a link, it is called as a balanced link configuration. So by this we understand that there are basically three different modes of the HDLC configuration and two types of link configuration. That is, one is balanced and other one is unbalanced. So depending upon the modes, the link configuration, it can also be balanced and unbalanced link configurations. And the three types of HDLC frame, they are information frame, supervisory frame and unnumbered frame. So when we are seeing the frame structure, okay, by looking at the frame format, we have to understand that there can be three type of frame and the structure will be slightly varying for each three type of the frame. So information frame means they are used for transporting the user data as well as the control information, whereas the S frames, there is a supervisory frame, they will be used only for transporting the control information, and U frame or the unnumbered frame, they are used for simply managing the communication link. That is simply for system management, how the link between the two stations, that is going to be controlled. That will be by means of this unnumbered frames, that is U frames. So if you are seeing the general structure or the HDLC frame type, we have to see that for each of the frame there is some difference. Okay, so this I have shown here the figure for a I frame. So as you can see in the figure for a I frame, the starting and the last portion, that is going to be a flag, and then we are having an address field, a control field and the information field and the frame check sequence field. And in this I frame, the information will be the data which is coming from the upper layer. So this information is our actual data which is to be communicated, say, from one station to another station. So that is how the I frame is going to look like. Now this is how a S frame is to be. That is similar to that of the I frame. We have got flag field at the beginning and at the end. We have our address field. Then we have a control field. But what is absent? The information which was present in the I frame, it is now going to be absent in the supervisory frame, because this is meant only for some control information. It is not going to carry the data. So when we are comparing S frame and I frame, what is the difference? The information field is absent. Then we will be having a frame check sequence field and all others are same. Then this is how a U frame is going to look like. So we will be again having flag field and address field, control field, information field. But the difference here the information is regarding the management data or the information required to manage the link. So information field is actually absent in the S frame. It is present in the case of I frame and U frame, but the information which it carries, it is going to be different. Okay, so in the case of U frame, the information it carries is about the management data, but in the I frame, it is the actual data. So now we can see what are these each field. So considering the flag field, that is a 8-bit of a fixed pattern. So this is a 8-bit flag pattern. This is going to be fixed in the case of HDLC protocol. That is, whenever the receiver, it is going to see these bits, it has to understand that it is a flag and the remaining only it is going to state the address field. Okay, so this is a pattern, fixed pattern of the flag field. So this particular, that is, it ends with the 0 and it also starts with the 0. So it will be starting with the 0 and ending with the 0. This is a fixed flag pattern. This flag, it is going to be fixed. Even for I frame, S frame and U frame, this is not going to differ. Okay, so first of all, there will be a 0. After that, the ones will be there and the last bit again it will be 0. Next, about the address field. So in case of the address field, it can be either a 1-byte address or a multiple byte address. Depending upon the need of the network, the address size can vary. So if it is a 1-byte address, remember that it always has to end with 1. Okay, these are things you have to remember. If it is a 1-byte address, it always has to end with the 1. Whereas in case of multi-byte address, make sure that the byte has to end with the 0. So if the receiver is seeing a 0, it has to understand that again some bytes are going to arrive. Okay, so if it sees a 0, it has to understand that it should be ready for arriving of the next bit, for the reception of the next bit, and always the last address, it should end with 1. That is the concept. So if it is a 1 byte address, it should end with 1, and if it is a multi-byte address, each of the byte has to end with zeros, and only the last bit it has to be 1. So this is the concept of address field. Next we will see about the information field. That is, information field in the case of I frame, it is going to be the user data or the actual data. It is missing in the S frame, and it will be the management information in a U frame. Then the frame check sequence, that will be a 2 byte or a 4 byte cyclic redundancy check. That is, mainly it is an error detection field for detecting any error in the frame. If any frame has been corrupted or an error has occurred, by help of this frame check sequence. Okay, so it is a form of error checking mechanism. So there is a method called as cyclic redundancy check. By using either a 2 byte or a 4 byte CRC, we could check, that is, we could detect the error which can occur in a particular frame. So we have seen about the flag field, we have seen about the address field, we have seen about the information field and the frame check sequence. Now we will see about the control field. So the control field, we have to understand for each of the frame, see how the control field is, it is going to differ. Okay, so if the control frame, it is going to start with the 0, we have to understand that it is a I frame. If it is starting with 1 0, we have to understand that it is a S frame, and if it is going to be 1 1, we have to understand that it is going to be a U frame. Okay, so this is a I frame control field, and this is a S frame, and this is a U frame. So which bit it is starting, depending upon that we will understand that which frame it is. So if the control frame, for the I frame, it should always begin with the 0, and the next 3 bits you can see that it is N of S. Okay, so N of S, it means that it is a sequence number of the frame sent. So we have to understand that for each of the frame there will be a number used. So which frame I am sending? Suppose I am sending the 0th frame or first frame. So there will be a sequence number. Okay, so that sequence number will be indicated by using these 3 bits. After the 0th bit, these 3 bits indicates the sequence number of the frame sent. So with the 3 bits, we can define, say, a sequence number only between 0 and 7 maximum using the 3 bits. And next is the pole and final bit. So you will understand by looking at this figure what is pole and final. That is, polling, it is being done by the primary station to the secondary station. So the secondary station will respond to the command from the primary station, that is called as a final. So if this bit is being set, okay, so if the pole and final, that bit is being set, it means that these actions are going on. So that is the P or F, that is a pole or the final bit. That is a single bit with the dual purpose. So when it is set, it means that the stations can either poll or it can do the final operation. That purpose is going on. And next 3 bits represent the N of R, that is a sequence number of the next frame expected. Means that the receiver is now going to acknowledge back the sender. So that is going to acknowledge back the sequence number of next frame expected. So this is a frame sequence number N of S, and N of R is the acknowledgement frame. For that we are using again these 3 bits. So this is the control frame of a I frame, and this is a control frame for a S frame. That is, it is starting with 1 and 0, and next 2 bits. Again we will be having some code which I will explain, and then third is for pole or final, and another 3 is again for N of R or the acknowledgement. And U frame, it will always, the control field of the U frame, it will always start with the 1 1, and these 5, that is, you can see some codes are there. So all these codes, it will be for managing the link, communication link. We have to use these codes. So some preset codes will be defined both at the transmitting side and at the sending side. Transmitting side and the receiving side, according to which the station has to work. And again we are having a pole and final. So this field is present, pole and final field, it is present in all the frames. So we have seen what is a pole and final. So we can see in the case of S frame, if it is starting with 1 and 0, it is a S frame. Then we have a pole and final and N of R, and some we are having a code bits after 1 and 0. So we can see what does it represent. So we are having 2 bits for the code, and if it is 0 0, it means that it is receive ready. Okay, you can see 0 0, it is receive ready. What do you mean by this is that it is going to acknowledge the reception of a safe sound, that is the receiver has received a frame correctly. So it is acknowledging back the sender that it has received the frame, now it is also ready for further reception. 0 1 means reject. So reject means that it is a negative acknowledgement frame, that is it has not correctly received the frame. Okay, so with the help of frame check sequence, if it find out that it is not correctly received the frame, it will, with the help of this code 0 1, it indicates that it is a reject. So what the sender has to do, again it has to transmit all the frames. Then 1 0 is a receiver not ready, that is 1 0 means that the receiver is currently not ready to receive the frame. That is, it has received a frame, but now it is being overloaded. So it is not ready to further receive the frame. So it is asking basically the sender to slow down the operation. So sender, you have to slow down the operation because the receiver is currently not ready to receive the further frames. That is what this code 10 indicates. Again we are having the code 11, which stands for selective reject. That means that selectively it is going to reject, say, 1 frame. For example, a sequence number 6 frame, it is going to reject. So that particular frame alone the transmitter has to transmit. So this is all, this code is going to be indicated by all these commands. So we have to understand that with the help of these two, you can have 4 different commands. That is receive ready, reject, receive not ready, and selective reject. So basically all these are used for acknowledging whether a frame has been correctly received at the receiver side. Now this is how a U frame control field is. So if it is starting with 1 1, we have to understand that it is a U frame control field, and we are having also pole and final. And unlike this particular frame, that is S frame, which was having only 2 bits for the code field, here we are having actually 5 bits. Okay, separated by the pole and final bit, we are having 5 particular bits for the code field of U frame. Now just understand that these codes, using these 5 values, it will be indicating some commands in order. It will be the control commands to manage the link. Okay, maybe to reset or reject the frame, or to manage the link, that is keep it in asynchronous balance mode, or keep it in disconnect mode, or keep it in normal response mode. So these codes will be indicating how to keep the link. So in this particular section, we have discussed about the HDLC protocol, about the 2 types of balanced and unbalanced configuration, 3 types of modes, and also discussed about the frame structure of HDLC protocol. So learn that there are 3 types of frames and how these frame format is going to differ, and also the function of the each field in the frame format.